Hi, this is Shannon from the blog beautywithinhome.com, and today is project day. We are converting this builder grade door to a farmhouse door. If you follow my blog, you know that I like to call my house my faux Florida farmhouse. I don't actually live on a farmhouse. I would love to one day, but I also believe that you don't have to own a legit farmhouse to decorate that way. I just love the decor. So I have beautiful shiplap in my house. I have beautiful board and batten. And then you walk in my front door and the first thing you see is this builder grade door. So there's nothing actually wrong with this door, but I want it to flow with my style. So I want to convert it to a farmhouse style door. And we're going to do that by using thin underlayment wood. When you add the thin underlayment wood on top, you can create any style you would like. So you don't have to do just farmhouse style, but that is what I'm gonna do. So the first thing we need to do is take this door off. We took the door down and we now have it on top of thin underlayment wood outside. We use thin underlayment wood. You can get this from Home Depot or Lowe's, and it is really easy to work with. We are laying it on top of the wood and just flushing it on the two sides. So that way we can just trace on the two edges, and then we know where to make our cuts. So we are actually not having to do a bunch of measuring. We are just going to trace it. And I have my husband, Michael, my design assistant, in his paint pants. So it is project time.
Ready to go.
And he's gonna do the tracing. This makes it easy. No measuring, just gonna trace it. And then this will be able to tell us where we make our cuts. Now it's time to cut. We have our thin underlayment wood. We are using a table saw. It is perfectly acceptable to use a circular saw for this whole project, but we have a table saw, and so we are going to make the cuts with the table saw. So now it is time to make our cuts. We are now going to attach the thin underlayment wood to the existing door. We are using a Brad nailer battery operated one, and we used to use one that had a compressor, but now it's just easier to use one that is battery operated. We can cart it anywhere. We are using 18 gauge 1-inch nails and some wood glue. So we are now going to attach it. We are about to cut the pieces for the trim on top. I am a visual person, so we took some scrap pieces of wood that we had from another project and laid it out so I could really see what the width looks like. And I really like this. It is 4-inch width, and it'll go on the sides, and the top will all be the same. And then I'm going to do a different width for the middle and the bottom piece. So we're about to make these cuts. We are using our remnant piece from the board so that we can hopefully do it all with just one board, which would make this just a really affordable project. The whole board is $20-something, and it'd be a cheap project. So let's rip this down to the 4-inch pieces. We now have it ripped down to the 4-inch width, and we are going to cut it down to the proper length of the door, which is 80 inches. We are using a miter saw, but again, if you only have a circular saw, this whole project can be done with a circular saw. We are just using the miter saw since we have it, and now we are going to cut it down to the right length. Since we have our side pieces and top piece cut down, ripped down, we are going to attach them. So we have the wood glue and we have our battery operated brad nailer. Once you have attached the two side pieces, then you're going to do your top piece, and you're going to measure from inside to inside, which is where the arrows are, and then that piece, you'll cut it down to that measurement and it'll fit right in. And you will wood glue it and attach it with the brad nailer, just like you did the other pieces. I'm going to recap some measurements with you. So the side pieces and the top piece are all 4 inches width, and then this bottom piece is 8 inches, and the middle piece I did 7 inches. So we did the bottom piece and the middle piece the same way as the top. You measure from inside to inside and then cut it down, and then we will attach it with the wood glue and the brad nailer again. Gonna look so good. For right now, we are gonna leave the back of the door how it was, but eventually we will do the same design on the back of the door. So we are at the part where we need to cut the hole for the doorknob. And there's a few different ways you can do this. We have a router, so we are using a top bearing flush trim bit to cut out the hole. Again, you can do it a few different ways, and this is just the way that we are doing it. It's looking so good. We are now at the point where we need to wood fill. So we're gonna wood fill any joints that need it. Wood fill over those, sand them down when they're dry, and wood fill any nail holes. You can leave some nail holes if you would like, leave it more rustic, but it really is just personal preference. We are gonna fill our nail holes and we are gonna fill the gaps in the joints. You guys, look at how pretty this door turned out. It is the same door. It turned out so good. Simple, clean lines, farmhouse door. It is now ready for to be primed and painted. We're gonna paint it Sherwin-Williams alabaster in satin finish. And I got an antique looking doorknob that we are also gonna add, that I will link. Super pretty, guys, love it. So we did have to take off the door trim piece since the door is now a little wider, so you can see the different coloring. We will have to paint it, but we just scored on the edges and pried it off, and then what you do is you just close the door and fit it snug next to it and nail it back up. The door is done and it looks absolutely amazing. I am so happy with it. And it's funny how something so simple can make such a big difference. If you liked this do-it-yourself project, please subscribe, follow us with our faux Florida farmhouse and plenty of other do-it-yourself projects and home decor and natural beauty and living. Thanks for stopping by the farmhouse.